Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. I'm massively excited about this one because it's one that gives me a chance to create a debate in the comment section, something that I'm really loving in the recent days, but also it gives me a chance to get my fan base involved in on the channel and also in creating the content. Now, if you had a chance to sign one player just like this from each of the clubs that finished in the top 7 positions, apart from Arsenal, because we finished 5th last campaign, but apart from Arsenal, each of the last 6 teams that finished in the top 7 positions, which player would you actually sign right now? You cannot name a player who has been signed. For example, you cannot name Raheem Sterling because he has been signed by Chelsea. So literally, it won't make any sense if you name him. And you can also not name Alexander Zinchenko at Manchester City because literally that is a done deal. But you can, the sample space is huge. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, and West Ham. One player from each of the clubs. That is what we are doing. Hit the like button before you get into the comment section and also subscribe as well. But I need you to give me a name that adds something to the squad, but also a name that you feel Arsenal is in need of. A position where you feel Arsenal need a player. So literally, you do not need to give me a goalkeeper because I feel although Alisson and Ederson could be better goalkeepers than Aaron Ramsdale and Matana, I don't think Arsenal are desperately in need of signing in a new goalkeeper. Of course, you can also, the parameter should be a player we can sign for a price that is a little bit manageable by Arsenal. Let's get into it. Manchester City. I've gone with Cole Palmer. Now, I've thought about a couple of options at Manchester City. Nathan Ake is one of them. And after Manchester City deciding that he will be staying, I was very, very sorry that I didn't do this video earlier because it's a player that I really love and a player that I think Arsenal should have tried to sign this summer. We are trying to find a backup centre-back for Gabriel Magalhaes. And Nathan Ake, trust me, would have been absolutely very, very fascinating and interesting. But when you think about Cole Palmer, very young, 20 years of age, attacking midfield, right winger, and also left winger. And that is exactly why I have chosen him. Nicola Pepe will be going out of the door, so that means Bukayo Saka doesn't have any competition. We understand from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, and now from Freddie Paxton, that Arsenal will try to sign in a right winger. He is their priority according to Sky Sports as well. So Cole Palmer is where Cole Palmer comes in, and that's why I love him. 20 years of age is still developing. If you look at his numbers for the Manchester City under 23 and under 18 as well, very, very fascinating young lad. He's already broken into this Manchester City side. He started getting some minutes in the UEFA Champions League and also in the Premier League, and it shows you with all that kind of quality surrounding Manchester City, Cole Palmer is already a player that is starting to establish himself as one of the players that should be picked, should be given a thought as Pep Guardiola is picking his starting 11, probably the squad for the day. Now, why I think Arsenal should sign him is, one, I think we have a vacancy on that right wing side, where Bukayo Saka plays. And of course, his versatility would always allow him play on the left-hand side, down through the middle, as a false 9 and also as a right winger. But also, think about it. You do not want to be at a Manchester City where it is so crowded with a lot of quality, but you can be at Arsenal where you feel just ahead of Bukayo Saka. The next name is you. The problem is that his contract runs down in 2026, and that literally means that if Arsenal wanted to sign him, they would have to pay in excess of Manchester City's valuation. I don't know how Manchester City would actually value the player. My opinion is that they would not even consider selling him. That is one I would give a try. If I were to sign a player from Manchester City right now, it could be and it would be Cole Palmer. Now, Liverpool, that guy, Roberto Firmino. We might agree to disagree on every player on my list, and I do not have a problem. I want to incite debate, and I want to get you people to think beyond transfer rumors. So Roberto Firmino, Liverpool, he plays in that false nine system for Jurgen Klopp, and we've seen him as a very, very key factor for Liverpool in the last 5-6 years on their front line, allowing Mane and Salah chunks of space to run into and score as many goals as possible. He is a facilitator. Now you're gonna ask me, because we have Gabriel Jesus, why do we need Roberto Firmino? The truth is, Arsenal need a backup striker. We need a third name up front. It is not a rare case that you have two strikers and both of them are down. And with this, these very difficult times, viruses flying around, and COVID flying around as well, you might lose your two strikers to the sick bay. But even if it's not that, Roberto Firmino on that front line is a player that I think is and can be an absolute game changer. He's done it for Liverpool last campaign, scoring a couple of goals, including one against Arsenal when the game was difficult, and he just changed it. And it's just, he's one for you to change the landscape of the game and just bring in that kind of brilliance that you like. So in my opinion, if Arsenal ever wanted to bring in a backup striker for quite a reasonable fee, I don't think Jurgen Klopp is going to part with him very, very easily, because he's a key member of the pioneer squad that that Jurgen Klopp has built at Liverpool, and now they've lost Sadio Mane. It might not be that easy, but I think valuation around 35 or 30 million euros, you could get the deal done from Liverpool. You can promise him that extra. That extra amount of game time, because he's going to be behind Darwin Núñez now after Liverpool signing in Darwin Núñez, and also maybe Diogo Jota. So you might be able to convince him otherwise that although we have Gabriel Jesus, you could be our next best striker. And also, I think Jurgen Klopp is going to change his system. They brought in Fabio Carvalho as a number 10, who is very, very expensively talented. And they've also now brought in Darwin Núñez as a traditional number 9. I won't be very surprised if Jurgen Klopp switches to a 4-2-3-1 system, where Carvalho plays as a number 10 and Darwin Núñez plays as a number 8. So, as a number 9. So that means Roberto Firmino's role at Liverpool is kind of over. And if you think about it, at Arsenal, we are actually just creating the similar role. Why not go for Bobby Firmino? I would definitely take him at Arsenal. Now, number 3 is Chelsea, and I would go for Hakim Ziyech. Of course, the reason is very, very clear with Hakim Ziyech. Arsenal needs someone to occupy any of the wings, either a right wing or the left wing, depending on where Mikel Arteta feels the urgency is. But with Hakim Ziyech, I think he's a player that is wanting and wants to prove a point, and he still feels the Premier League is still the league for him. Now, signing from Ajax to Chelsea, it was seen as one of the very interesting moves, and we all thought it was really going to work. We've seen some bits and pieces of quality, from him in that Chelsea squad and side, but I don't think he's maximized his potential, and now we're hearing talks of him going to AC Milan and probably back to Ajax eventually. I think Arsenal need to keep a very, very open eye and a very, very close attention to Hakim Ziyech. If you are looking for a player to play for you in that right wing, in that Nicola Pepe role of backing up Bukayo Saka, also providing that kind of game changer at times, I think Hakim Ziyech could be a very, very nice addition. AC Milan want to take him on a loan deal. I think Arsenal can negotiate a deal with him. I'm not really quite sure how much Chelsea paid initially, but I think Arsenal could be paying around 25 to 30 million euros for Hakim Ziyech. I would definitely put him in that Arsenal side, and I see him working very well. He's got the assets and the materials and the minerals to play in the Mikel Arteta system, holding his width and stretching the length of the pitch, and also he's got that ability to beat players 1v1. So Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea, yeah, I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that. unless otherwise. Yes, I thought about N'Golo Kante as well, but Hakim Ziyech is a more doable deal now that Raheem Sterling has signed for Chelsea. Now, Tottenham Hotspur, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Now, I thought about a couple of players at Tottenham Hotspur, because the rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham means you cannot just go and sign anyone. They cannot give you one of their most important players, and they cannot give you one of their untouchables. So you cannot think about Harry Kane. But I thought about deep inside, and I was like, Thomas Partey needs a backup, doesn't he? And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and his role at Tottenham Hotspur is diminishing. And for me, with some time, if Bissouma gets in and settles in very, very well, I feel Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's role in that Tottenham side will be over eventually. And I think Thomas Partey's fitness issues require that Arsenal sign in a backup defensive midfielder. And how much I love Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, a player that can play for you in that defensive midfield, a player that can also play for you in a double pivot and a single pivot. That is one thing I love about him. Very, very aggressive, very energetic, and also very good at pressing, and he is press proof. But I think it's not the quality of Antonio Conte, and that's why Bissouma has actually been introduced in this Tottenham side. But talk to me about Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Is he a player you feel, if Arsenal brought him in, I don't think he's going to be asking for a lot of game time ahead of Thomas Partey, but he's one that I think he pushes Partey. He's going to provide that kind of competition. He will be the kind of Fernandinho Rodri combination. Rodri starting for 65, 75 minutes, and then the rest of the 20, 25 or 15 minutes are completed by Fernandinho. And I think Thomas Partey needs that. He needs to be playing less games. He needs to be finding enough rest. And also he needs to be playing more important minutes and less of the minutiae minutes. Now, moving on to Manchester United. This one was a difficult one because with Manchester United, I first thought about Donny van de Beek. But then I ended up pulling myself towards Anthony Martial. Now, I know many of you might not agree with me on Anthony Martial. And also, personally, he was a player that I never ever thought of saying Arsenal should sign Anthony Martial. But listen to me, and listen to me very, very well. The couple of players Arsenal could go for in Manchester United, but I think the quality of Anthony Martial and the quality that is required in this Mikel Arteta side, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Anthony Martial's versatility to play, and ability to play as a number 9, as a false 9, as a left winger, and also probably on the right wing. We've seen him play on the left wing and also on the right wing. Actually, I think Anthony Martial can play for you as a left winger in that Arsenal side more effectively than any other player. Now, the reason is, I think, he's more of a striker. He wants to definitely play more centrally. And if you deployed him as a forward on the left, you would be getting yourselves more goals and more assists, from him on that side. But also as a backup for Gabriel Jesus, I think you'd be having a player in your squad that can always be deployed as a striker, and definitely it works out. So Anthony Martial at Manchester United, one that I would be very, very open to. One that I would definitely be very, very open to. And lastly, West Ham United. I cannot think about other players. I thought about so many of them, but there is only one name at West Ham United that I treasure, and I really treasure very, very massively, and that is Jarrod Bowen. I don't think there is a better player that Arsenal should go for. Probably Declan Rice, but Declan Rice is going to be staying at West Ham. That is one. And also, I think Declan is going to be very expensive. Jarrod Bowen could move this summer if a serious club is interested. Around 25, around 50 to 60 million euros is what they would definitely ask for. And I think, as Arsenal are looking for a right winger, a left winger, or a forward to play on either flanks, Jared Bowen is just one of them. Just think about it. A Premier League proven, had a fantastic season with West Ham, and why not? I think he's ready to make that huge, massive jump. Let me know in the comment section one player you'd sign from each of our rivals. Hit the like button. We will do one player we should sign from the bottom teams as well, because we need to respect them just as much.